I have a great belief in healing that we have an innate ability to self-heal. And many of you out there are practicing your healing with others, with yourself, with animals even. And I really believe what we're doing is we are activating the body's own self-healing ability. Now, whether it comes through sound or whether it comes through colour, whether you're using crystals, whether you're working with a higher power, with life force, or with intelligence, a conscious intelligence that you work with, then I actually believe that it isn't them who are doing the healing. What they're doing is they are activating the ability to self-heal. So, that might be controversial for some of you, but it's the energy that is activating the self-healing ability. So, let's look at a couple of things, for example. And if I give you the example of lately, quite a few of you have been saying how well I look, and it's been a really difficult year. What's going on there? Well, lots of things are going on there for a start, and I believe a chain of self-healing is actually happening. Now, that can happen on lots of levels. It can happen on the physical level, on the emotional level, the psychological level. And the mind is hugely powerful in healing, isn't it? We know about intention and affirmations. They're huge, and perhaps I'll do a little bit more on that. But I do think I've already got a video on intention, and that might be worth looking up if this really interests you. So, what's actually happened with me is, as you know, me being me, and I love experimenting and I like being geeky and trying out all the new things. And I don't necessarily say one thing works for this or the other, it's what works for you. But as you know, I've been recording some plants. Now, what's happening is the plants don't actually make that noise, but the plants have an electrical energy field like we do. Every living thing has an electrical energy field. And what's happening is the sensors that are being placed on the plant are sensing the electrical energy field and converting it through a MIDI processor into sounds that have been assigned to every frequency. So that's why it sounds so lovely. It's being converted rather like the telephone. So when we speak on the phone, it's not really my voice you hear. It's a modulated copy of the energy signals, the sound signals that I've created, which are again electrical energy to a degree. You can measure that as electrical energy, as sound. So the plants themselves, what happened? Apart from liking it and thinking, oh, this is great, this is really cool, I love it, I love the sounds, I started to sleep a lot better. I'd put one or two on through a Bluetooth speaker in the bedroom, and we would just drift off and have the best night's sleep ever, something I hadn't been able to do for a very long time. So I started to feel better that way, and I started to feel more connected to the plants. And so then I started to think about, I've got a lot of work to do on self-healing. So what I need to do now is think about what nutrition I get. And I really felt strongly, and I spoke to my GP about this, and I felt really strongly that I needed to have the correct nutrition for every cell so that it could work correctly. And then there was the potential for things to improve. So I very wholeheartedly dived into whole food, plant-based nutrition, which has been close to my heart for a long time, but I did it with a lot more seriousness and knowing I had some blood tests and I checked everything out with the GP, and she was very, very positive and talked of the positive results she'd seen in her patients who'd done exactly the same. And in the space of 3 weeks, I'd lost a significant amount of weight. My energy had restored. Now, I still have the tremor that you sometimes see. I still have times when that's really bad and it causes me to stammer or slur a bit. I still can't walk very well, but I've got more energy. I'm sleeping really well, and I feel that my body is starting to slowly self-heal. So, is it the plant that does the healing? Not necessarily. Is it the sound that does the healing? Not necessarily. Is it the colour? Is it the spirit world? Is it wishful thinking? Actually, it doesn't matter. You have the ability to self-heal. That's what matters. And all of those things that I spoke of work on frequency and intention. And they are important when you're working with yourself or with a patient when you're actually healing. Now let's think of something for a moment. If you have a patient, or if you yourself think, oh well, all right, I'll put on this healing meditation, or I'll go and see, so-and-so down the road who'll give me a Reiki session, and you're very negative about it, you're actually, I believe, stopping your opportunity to self-heal. You have to be very positive about it. There's an element of neuro-linguistic programming in this as well. These are all ways that we can self-heal. If you go to, say, somebody who's a spiritual healer and is really good at what they're doing, but no matter what they do and no matter what the spirit will bring to you and what the healer brings to you, if it's well, we'll see what happens, then that's not going to work. We have to make sure we, as patients, and the people we serve as patients, are positive about self-healing. That they use the right language, that they don't think in terms of pain, they think in terms of feeling good, they think in terms of wellness rather than illness. They talk in those terms because the mind and its programming is very powerful. And I believe that whether you work with the spirit world, whether you work with this world, whether you work with plants, sound, colour, crystals, angels, animals, shamanic healing, what it's doing is it is creating through the intention, through the energy, the means to activate your innate ability to self-heal. See you next time.